What's good, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing well. With us being a football podcast, I just wanted to address the Christian Eriksen situation. It's been just the most mental 24 hours. I've been online constantly looking for updates and looking for news on the situation itself, and it's something that I pray I never see again in football or in life in general. Having witnessed the Fabrice Muamba situation, I was a little bit younger. It's, again, like I said, it's something I never wish to see ever again in my life. It was a really difficult situation to comprehend. What we know about Christian Eriksen now is that he suffered a cardiac arrest. I'm glad he's okay. Christian, I wish you, a speedy recovery. I wish, your family strength and sort of some sort of inner peace, knowing that potentially you're going to want to go back to the game you love, which may be difficult. We'll touch upon that in a moment. But Christian Eriksen suffered the cardiac arrest. I have to give credit to his teammates, Simon Kier, Kasper Schmeichel in particular. All of them were outstanding. The medics as well were absolutely incredible. I was blown away by the humanity of the people involved. But Kier and Schmeichel, the way they sort of made the shield around Christian, the teammates, the way they consoled everybody, looked after his wife. Again, nothing short of incredible, and that's real leadership, and that comes from real men with real courage, and that's why they are where they are. They are just incredible people, not just incredible professionals as well. So shout out to everybody involved that made the situation better. The people that made it worse, the TV broadcasters. If a streaker runs onto the pitch, they'll immediately cut off the stream. So I don't know why they didn't just go back to the studio. I know it was a situation where you couldn't really take your eyes off of it, but they do have a responsibility to have some sort of dignity, and to see Christian Eriksen's wife, screaming, crying on the touchline, being consoled, was that was a difficult sight to see. But there's so much to talk about. I had to write some of it down because it's very difficult to articulate my entire feelings about it, because even now I'm just still stunned by everything. Like I said, it was horrible to see. Credit to everybody involved that helped make it a smooth situation. What comes next for Christian, I suppose, is the question that's been on my mind. Reading up about heart or cardiac arrest or heart problems that people have, it sounds like he'll need a pacemaker fitted. Personally, I think it's the end of his footballing career. It may be the case that Christian decides to play on. I don't think he can play on in Serie A. From what I gather, in law it says the Italians stop people competing if they have a significant cardiac abnormality. They reduce the death rates from cardiac arrest in sport from 3% to below 1%. So I don't know if Christian Eriksen can continue in Serie A. He might be able to do in other countries. If I'm Christian Eriksen's family, I'm going to ask him politely to step aside. The worry and the fear I would have if I was his family member, of him stepping back onto a pitch and that happening again, is just too much. It's too traumatizing. I'm sure Inter Milan will happily pay up his contract and wish him a farewell. And it's a shame, really, because he was just starting to find his feet at Inter Milan. He'd won the Scudetto. He was found a place in the team. He was playing well. Took Denmark to the Euros. He probably wanted to take them to one more World Cup before he really retired from Danish football. But the safest thing for him to do is probably just knock it on the head. I'm sure there's a million and one other things he can do. Whilst it might not be football, I'm sure he'll find some sort of pleasure in another activity, and he'll grow and evolve and hopefully develop a taste for something else. But the whole thing is just, to say I'm gobsmacked is just, it's wild. When I look back, Marc-Vivien Foé, I don't think I was even born when that happened. Maybe I was too young, but I never got to experience that. But if you speak to people that were sort of an adult at that point and fully understood the severity of it, that still traumatizes them now. The Fabrice Muamba one, I was a little bit older. I kind of had a grasp as to what was going on, but again, probably didn't fully understand the severity of it. And the Nouri one at Ajax, which was a couple of years ago, it wasn't on TV, or it wasn't on UK TV to the best of my knowledge, but I've seen clips of it, and Nouri, he suffered permanent brain damage, so we're very lucky that Christian Eriksen got the support and, the necessary CPR and the defibrillator. One thing positive that's come out of it is I want to learn CPR now. I think we should all be taking the time to learn CPR. God forbid that happens to anybody I love. I want to be in a position where I'm actually able to do something about it. So whilst there was a massive negative, there are positives. Christian survived, that's one. The mass adoption of CPR that should be taught in schools and should be, available to everybody everywhere. Hopefully now that will shine some light on that. But there's a few questions I wanted to ask, and I want people to get in the comments below. Number one, should Christian retire? Should he just walk away from football? Does Inter Milan keep him on? I mean, if Inter Milan keeps him on, is that irresponsible from them, given Italy's sort of history of dealing with cardiac arrest? So, yeah, number one I want to know is, should Eriksen keep playing? Number two, do you think Christian Eriksen's cardiac arrest was as a result of, how can I put this, being overplayed? There was talk from Asmir Begovic. He tweeted that he feels footballers are overplayed. Potentially it may have contributed to it. Gundogan put a tweet out after the whole European Super League fiasco saying that whilst the Super League isn't going to be there, there's still the issue that surrounds player welfare, because ultimately, the current format of the Champions League is a larger one, so they're going to play more games and it's going to be more strenuous for them. We had Dean Hammond come on the podcast, and Dean was at Leicester when they won the Premier League and the Championship, and we talked about footballers being assets, and basically, if you're an asset that's worthy of being looked after, you'll be looked after, and if you're an asset that's not worthy of being looked after, you won't get looked after, and you'll kind of fall by the wayside in that respect. So footballers, they do get treated like assets sometimes instead of human beings. One of the other questions I wanted to ask, and again, get in the comments below if you think it's a good idea, or if you've got any other ideas as to what we could do. Should footballers be capped in terms of the amount of games they play? So should we limit the amount of games they play? For example, Marcus Rashford's played around 75 games this season. Should we physically stop people and say, look, there's a cut-off point, you're only allowed to play 50 games a season? That way then Premier League managers have to rotate their squad, they have to use everything that's available to them, and also then we protect player welfare too, because ultimately the big guys at the top, the suits, they're not going to get rid of any competitions anytime soon. That's where the money is. In fact, they'll probably just start introducing more games and more competitions. So eventually the rubber will meet the road, and at some point we have to say, well, do you really care about footballers? It's all good making money, but you're really starting to affect people's health. So I'm interested to get people's opinion on the questions I've sort of produced. Get in the comments below, interact, whether it's good, bad or ugly. We're always happy to talk about it. If you want to add me up on the socials, the podcast, or Vecchi or Reese or anybody else that's affiliated with the podcast, God bless, by all means feel free to do so. We're happy to interact, always happy to talk with people. But yeah, that's the hot take. Get in the comments below, let me know your opinion. Make sure you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Like and subscribe, so important. The like, it means it goes into the algorithm and everybody else gets to see it. And subscribe, the more subscribers the better. So yeah, I've been Rory Spooner, people. This is the hot take. Like I said, get in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video, people. Take care.